I want to take a minute right now to talk to you about my coaching business, Brainstems Unlimited. Brainstems Unlimited was founded here March 2024, and we serve the community of alpha males. Alpha males that has reached the limit with their coach. See, here's the thing. Many of y'all were not born alpha males, and what's happened to you is by listening to the words of darkness, you have found yourself only function at the level of brainstem. So what we do at Brainstems Unlimited is we introduce your central nervous system to an organ in your body that is unlikely to be functioning at all. We call it the brain. See, the brain is actually part of the central nervous system, and it has functions, and it can create things like love and create things like empathy and understanding of other people. Now, I know these might be concepts that are foreign to you. They may just look like behaviors. You see, the thing about it is that if you don't have empathy, that means that you're functioning with your cerebellum. So you have the cerebellum. Cerebellum will say behavior patterns, right? But the higher functions come from the cerebral cortex, right? And so what happens is that when you've been in this fear state for so long, the norepinephrine done cut the signals out from your cerebral cortex to combine with the behaviors to create an authentic experience of reality. And without that, you see reality through the lens of fear. You see reality through the lens of a primary fight or flight reaction. And so the fight or flight reaction defines reality automatically from a past experience. And so when you're looking at women and get mad, when you're looking at black people and they're caveman, inner fear comes out because your physical and intellectual vulnerabilities to these human beings that are vastly superior in all ways to you. Well, that problem's only magnified by the fact that it triggers and triggers and triggers, right? And then your inferior behaviors, see, actually makes you socially different. So that's the problem, is that when you go out acting like an alpha, sticking your chest out, walking around thinking you're some kind of hotshot, it dramatically reduces the appeal to other human beings, particularly women. You got to recognize that you're not in a cave no more, okay? You know, I know it's difficult to hear this. I'm hoping I can get through, because what happens is that when the words hit your eardrum and it goes through, it has to be processed by the brain. Well, the thing is you're catching those cranial nerves at a lower level, and you're processing it in your small cerebellum. That's why some of y'all have trouble keeping up. When you're listening to people and you get angry and you attack them. You attack them because your cerebellum and brainstem doesn't have enough neurons to process complete sentences. And so you make things up about reality and you lie all the time with no accountability, simply because you don't have enough brain power to actually talk about what's actually taking place. And so in that fight or flight state, you attack the source of your inferiority complex, and that's the other person. But you see, I want to introduce something to you. It's a word, a real powerful word. We call it communication. You see, communication is not when you attack something because you have an emotional reaction and your brain creates a simplified architecture of that individual. No, communication is when their communication exists independent of them. And then you evaluate using your cerebral cortex the words as exactly they were intended. And now your brain, freed up to actually use emotions that was buried inside the fight or flight reaction, are now going to help you visualize what they're talking about. And suddenly your brain illuminates. And rather than being in a world of fear, hate, and no possibilities, you start seeing people and you're like, whoa, wait a second. Not only is it not so bad, it's actually really good. Because when you're kind to people and you're not attacking them out of fear for no reason, they have a positive response to that. You see, because you going around attacking women, telling them this and that, hooting and hollering, telling them their body counts, telling them they're 1 to 10, disrespecting single women. Well, you can't be going around being a fake-ass alpha because you're stuck in a brainstem reality. We got to break your consciousness out of your cerebellum out of your lower pelvic region, and we got to activate your cerebral cortex right away before it's too late. I want to warn some of you, if you've been listening to Myron for too long, you might have already started to lose brain mass, because if you're not using your cerebral cortex, it shrinks. It will shrivel up. You know, it just looks like a raisin.